Okay, so essentially what you'd want to do would be these arms, the way it's going to look is like this. So you're going to want to keep these arms straighter longer because then you won't overturn. So as soon as you see this and you see this right, like I can't keep this right arm straighter for much longer. If like this is uncomfortable at this point, but it's a feel to get you used to keeping this straight. And then once this starts to bend, then you start your downswing into your transition. So that the way you would create the speed and the width would just be to keep these arms kind of flat, no bend in them at all until you get up top. Because if you start to bend, you'll see these gaps. And what I mean by that is these gaps like this. So if this club turns on the inside, you can already see this gap right here. The arms are starting to kind of like separate in a way. And you don't want them to separate because you want it to all be a one-piece takeaway. And obviously there's, other aspects to the swing and the backswing up here. But when I'm talking about the gaps, it's important because when you get up top, so your arm is bowing, but it's not staying into your or into your rib cage. So when you come over, there's a little bit of like bowing going on in your arms. So you're coming down like this. And this, if you notice that gap between my elbow and the ribs, your arm is wanting to come up over top of the right arm, or over the top of the left arm, your right arm is, which that's a feel, but you want to keep that elbow tucked. So if that elbow is not tucking, then your first move is gonna be here, and it's gonna be either neutral or it's gonna be over the top to where that right arm comes over top. And what you really want to do is you want to get into the backswing. And the first move should be that squat with your elbow tucking into the rib cage. So if that elbow tucks into the rib cage, there's almost like no way. Well, don't quote me on that. There's definitely a way, but it's much harder to get that left arm underneath of the right arm if the first move is elbow into rib cage. Because if you notice, I'll show you one more time. Elbow into rib cage. This is coming from a very shallowed out and neutral, if not into out path. Whereas if you're coming here, the first movement is over the top and you're trapping the ball and you're gonna slice it. So I think if you could focus on that, focus on reducing that path or reducing the backswing because you're overturning to here, which is awesome if you can have the consistency. But it's something I've been working on a lot is shortening down that swing and really getting it to here and then coming back through, because the speed doesn't necessarily get created from, the overturning in the backswing. The speed's created from the width that you create and then the hands that come through. So if you could focus on that, I think it would help a lot.